Another one is dangerous love. You wouldn't want to date them in real life, otherwise you'd be dead or something worse. I mean, I think everyone knows the answer to that one. Yang. Though recently I discovered that he's 5'9", so I thought he was 5'7", right? And I tweeted about it, and I'm embarrassed now because he's actually 5'9". But even 5'9" isn't as tall as I thought he was. Like, I thought he was about, like, at least 180 centimeters, But 175, I don't know. Bit short for my liking in the Otome world. Hello everyone, it's Lily and happy Valentine's Day. So today I've got kind of like a Valentine's themed video. Basically Luna on Twitter kind of made this Otome V-Day week hashtag kind of almost event on Twitter. If you're part of the Otome community on Twitter, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. She's basically has 7 days worth of questions that counts down to Valentine's Day. I have been joining in on Twitter, but I feel like because, Twitter, that you've got like this much space to summarize your thoughts for each of these questions, I felt like making a video would be more fun just to get my ideas and thoughts out there rather than it being like you know what I mean. But anyway, let me get straight down into it. So day 1 was Save the Date. Game you want to play, and it's a game that's on your backlog that you haven't gotten to yet on your wish list, or just isn't localized yet. So I went with a game that's on my backlog. Now this is kind of a tricky question because my backlog is like, yeah, I'm not even kidding, it's anyway. But I'm not gonna lie, I do want to get back into like some of the more series type games, so things like Diabolic Lovers or Uta no Prince-sama, where there are a number of games, that you play one after the other. Particularly Diabolic Lovers because, I don't know, I did play a couple of them and then I kind of gave up almost. So I think if I got back into it, I think it's quite fun. And another one is definitely Black Wolf Saga and Sweet Clown. Basically games that feel a bit messed up or twisted, because recently I have been playing kind of like more normal ones, if you know what I mean. Like Kimi wa Yukima ni Koi Negau is the one that I'm playing right now, and it's relatively standard, and I won't be making a review of it in the future, but like that's quite standard. The one before that was probably a couple of Voltage games, like they're quite vanilla, and I'm looking for something a bit crazy. So yeah, I Diabolic Lovers, Black Wolf Saga, or Sweet Clown probably. Now, day 2 is Secret Admirer, a heroine that you appreciate. Okay, so this one was quite easy. I immediately thought of Lynette from Cupid Parasite, because every time I think something in my mind when I'm playing that game, she will repeat it word to word. So I relate to her so much. Honestly, it's like she's reading my mind or something, and it's great. And I feel very honored that I relate to her because she's, she's one of my favorite main characters. And another one that comes to mind is Serene from Jako no Rider. Oh, she's just so pretty. I wish I could be that pretty. If only I could be that, like, attractive and sort of sensual. Like, honestly, I struggle even showing like up to here. I'm like, oh, too much skin color. So the fact that she could dance wearing like barely anything, I'm like, whoa, girl, you are so confident with your body, it's amazing. And not that I would want to be in her shoes or be in her situation, but like the confidence she has and knowing what she's doing is just amazing. And funnily enough, they're both by the same artist, so yeah, funny that. But no, those two are definitely... Oh, and one more, I can't remember the name, but there is a main character from Suran Digito, and her hobby is basically napping, and I relate to that so much because I'm like a grandma. So she's an honourable mention. So day 3 is My Sweetheart, a character you came to love. You didn't like them at first, but you ended up falling for them. So on my Twitter, I very simply summarized it to be all the guys from Very Vulgar Arcade, which is true. Basically, pretty much all of them surprised me. But out of those, the one that I was especially surprised about... Actually, no, scratch that. I'll go through basically every single one apart from Tiger had a complete switch in my mind. So initially he had Shion, the blonde haired guy, which I was like, he's a bit, everyone does everything for him, I don't like it, he reminds me of me in that sense, and I don't like that side of me, so I don't like this character. And then as you play the route, oh my gosh, he's so yuruhua is what we call it in Japanese. He's just so head in the clouds and cute, but he cares about the main character, and I don't know, by the end of it he was great. Then you had Nayuta, who was like the puppy dog guy, and you're like, I was a bit like, initially, you know, he's a bit too much, he's a bit too energetic and a bit crazy, but yeah, you'll be surprised if you play this game. You'll be surprised by him. He, again, ended up liking him too. And then you've got Ichiya, who is like a complete flirt. He's so annoying from the beginning. Like, he's such a try-hard. You're like, go away, Ichiya, I don't want you near me. But then towards the end, you know, it's really weird. That annoyingness grows on you. And by the end, you're like, that game is full of surprises, so I'm honestly so excited for its release, and all of you guys should buy it too. So that's definitely that one. Day 4 was Cherished Memories, a game that got you into Otome games. Can be from any platform such as Switch, mobile, and etc. So the very first game I played was Hakuoki, and it was the most traumatic experience. I played blind, I went down Okita Soji's route, and oh my god, you know, when people say Otome games, I was expecting like fluffy, happy, dating, cutesy, rom-com, that's so sweet. I did not expect like so much tears, bloodshed, and honestly, that game traumatized me, and I couldn't play like bad endings for probably a year afterwards, and then only after a year did I kind of get over it and then start playing bad endings and then regret the fact that I wasn't ever playing bad endings. Yeah, no, that game really traumatized me, but it did get me into Otome games because I thought it was fun, you know, it was good. Day 5. A day to remember. Your favorite scene, your favorite CG or part of the game. Now, I'm not going to post a CG because I don't know. I don't want to spoil anyone. I want this to be a spoiler-free video. But I'd say my favorite scene was probably from a game called Chou no Doku Hana no Kusari. This game is about a girl in the, I think, Taisho period. She's the daughter of a good family, like good as in she has the name that people want because it's like the name of a good family. Do you see what I mean? Like, they're old money, except that they were going through that phase where, you know, they're running out of money and working is for like people who are not of their level type of thing. So prideful, so silly, and so they're just selling off all of their family inheritance and all of that, and she's stuck in the situation where she either marries someone who wants the family name and has money, or, you know, just deteriorates. And one of the routes is her childhood friend who doesn't really have that much money. He's got like a decent money, but like her family is a bit prideful and is like, well, I don't know how I feel about someone of their name marrying my daughter. Like, they're very prideful, so it's not really like ideal, I guess. But anyway, one of the bad endings is just so bittersweet. It was just so real, like it hit hard because it was so realistic, and in some ways you could argue that perhaps it is a happy ending, that, you know, in a way, but also it's really not. Yeah, it was bittersweet, and I love bittersweet endings. It made me feel all sorts of things. It made me feel a tiny bit happy, but also incredibly sad. And the way the main character describes her emotions and how things have happened the way they have were incredibly just real. And yeah, I can't explain it in words. Like, you're just gonna have to play it yourself, you know? No, it's good. So, Chou no Doku Hana no Kusari, that's the game. It's an R18 game, so that CG was incredibly graphic, but I was okay with it because it wasn't like, you know, you see things. It was more like you could see them from the front, so you couldn't see things. It was like, I'm not gonna go into detail because, anyway, let me move on to the next one. Day 6 was pulling my heartstrings, an ending that stirred your emotions. Doesn't matter if it's happy, bad, or tragic. So I'm going to talk to you about my absolute favorite bad ending, and that's of Noritsune's tragic love ending from Birushana Rising Flower. What Rising was it? Rising Flower of the Genpei or something. I can never remember it, but in Japanese it's just Birushana Senki. And Noritsune, the pink-haired guy's tragic love ending, oh my god. It was a mixture of a tiny bit of happiness with extreme sadness with excitement. And I mean, like, the build up to it, whoo, it got me pumping. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And it just builds up and it just explodes. And oh my god, honestly, I haven't felt so much excitement from a bad ending in my life, you know? It was just, yeah, again, speechless. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to ruin it. But honestly, even if you are normally the type to play these games blind, go for Noritsune first and do that tragic love ending. Honestly, it's worth it. And it's just so good. I need to make a top 3 bad ending video so I can actually talk about it. Maybe after the game gets released so people are more willing to watch it, you know? Okay. Day 7 was Be Mine, your favorite character and why. Can be any character. Right, okay, let's start this. My favorite character is Meguru-sama from Sudan Digit, and I just like his character so much. It's just, you know, right from the beginning, he looked really mean, and I was like, I'm a sucker for mean guys, and I wish I won't like this guy, but I know I will. And he did not disappoint. Like, honestly, oh man, I haven't come across a character that I have been as excited about yet. And I am waiting for that day because it you know, it's more fun when you're like super into a character rather than like being kind of into a character. Meguru-sama was just on a whole different scale. I just loved how he was mean and you learn why he's so mean and then the bad ending. Oh my gosh, I felt depressed for like a whole day or two afterwards because I was like, no, and it wasn't even like an intricate bad ending or anything, but because I liked the character so much, I kind of ended up kind of sort of imagining how he felt, and it just made me feel so like depressed. But yeah, no, so that's definitely my favorite character. And then there are some optional prompts here. They're there for those who can use them if they're unsure about any of the others. So there's one called Feels Like Home, a comfort character that makes you feel at home. That's really difficult. That's really random. Feels at home. Would you? I guess you would kind of think of characters that are motherly, maybe Cordelia from Diabolic Lovers. No, joking. She's really not motherly. Homey characters. Maybe someone that's dad-like? I don't know. This is really difficult. Or someone that's really kind. Cooks a lot. Lily! There we go. Okay, maybe not. That's really tricky. Maybe even like a character that's, you know in Cupid Parasite, there's that best friend. I can never remember names, but there's that best friend character with like the purple hair. She kind of makes me feel homey because it kind of makes me think of housemates, and housemates aren't like homey. I don't know. So maybe her. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with that because I can't think of a better answer. Another one is Dangerous Love. You wouldn't want to date them in real life, otherwise you'd be dead or something worse. I mean, you know, I think everyone knows the answer to that one. Yang. Though recently I discovered that he's 5'9", so I thought he was 5'7", right? And I tweeted about it, and I'm embarrassed now because he's actually 5'9". But even 5'9" isn't as tall as I thought he was. Like, I thought he was about like at least 180 centimeters, you know, but 175, I don't know. Bit short for my liking in the Otome world. But yeah, he's dangerous. Any of the Diabolic Lovers boys I would not want to date. Anyone in Black Wolf Saga probably too. Oh, there is a character that appeared, I can't remember his name, Hayate I think is his name, in a game recently I played called Utsemi no Meguri, and he basically, yeah, his bad or crazy ending. I would definitely not recommend anyone who gets triggered by domestic violence or just abuse in general, because his crazy ending was like, I mean, I thought it was crazy. Don't play it if you're triggered by that, because Jesus, at least you can kind of avoid it with a walkthrough, but crazy. Typical love story. A popular trope that you enjoy during a route. A popular trope, as in like something that happens. Okay, I love kabedon. That's probably one of my favorites. A good kabedon makes me happy. Like that slight intimidation is even better. Yukadon as well. All the dons, please. And I also think it's cute when you know, there are scenes where you go on like a vacation with the characters, and then, or you know, there's always the fireworks scene. That's another one I like. So all the cliches basically. Why do I not like Kimi-Yuki? I mean, all the cliches are there, and yet for some reason, I think it's because I've been playing vanilla game after vanilla, so now I'm just kind of like over it, you know. That's probably what it is. So yeah, tropes I would say, but then I like the horror tropes as well, when like something really creepy happens, or like a yandere trope where you end up in a cage or something. I find that kind of I just find it so juicy, it makes me laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but it's all fiction, so it's okay. Destined to be, so this is the last one. A character that you know is destined to be with the MC. Oh, I don't know whether I should answer this one, because like some of them I guess most of the canon or canon, I don't know how to pronounce it, but those are the ones that you would typically think are kind of like expected to be with the main character. I think of all routes, my favorite destined to be, or one that I felt was like a destined to be, has got to be Alan and Lynette. Like their love story was so beautiful. Honestly, it was gorgeous. And although Alan isn't necessarily my favorite character, I don't really have a favorite character in Cupid's Parasite, but his route is 100% my favorite. Like there is no question there, and I think it's because of the love story that's told between them, and I just, oh, it was just so good. If you have Cupid Parasite, please play Alan's route. It's so beautiful. Like it's just beautiful. But anyway, that ends my sort of questions. These were created by Luna. Go and check her Twitter out if you know you want to see these for yourself and like answer them, because they have been really fun to answer, and I think it's nice to kind of see tags like this in the Otome community Twitter. But also do comment below if you want to just answer them on comments, because you know I'd like to see what you think of some of these yourself. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos. Bye!